Hey Gemini, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength on this reading, check your other major placements. Let's see. As I'm starting your reading, I'm just setting things up here, a song came through very strongly for me, and that is Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry, but it was the part of everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. So it felt very delineated to me that it was your energy or a message for you. All right, Gemini. All right, and then two more. So we're starting with the Oracle decks, Moonology, and Work Your Light for a more intuitive vibe of where we're going. Waning Moon, what do you need to release? Believe in the impossible, Blue Moon, and you are good enough. Hey, Virgo Taurus just got this one. You are good enough. So what do you need to release? Any idea that this isn't going to happen, that things are impossible, and that you are unworthy? Any idea that you're not... It could be trying to be too specific with something, but there is a sense of, you need to release certainty. You need to release limitations, ideas. Being open to infinite, you need to be open to infinite possibilities. I think you need to be more general with something, with how your happiness is going to, and your success is going to come in here. And you need to release your sense of unworthiness, your own sense of unworthiness. This is reminding me of the Buddhist quote about you could travel the whole world and not find anyone more deserving than you are of love and happiness. So a sense of releasing your own, and there can also be perfectionism here too, wanting something to be so perfect and so, just so, when in fact we could just be good enough. It's just good enough, right? We don't need to be just so. That's too much stress going into that, and too much certainty, too much rigidity going into things being just a certain way. You're good enough. The situation can be good enough. And believing in the impossible. Releasing doubt, releasing fear, releasing... Well, you'll know what to release. It's also, it's safe to move on. It's safe to move forward. You can let something rest now. And it's safe to have some downtime. Allow yourself, love yourself for that downtime, allowing that downtime. A couple messages today already on downtime and allowing that. All right, Gemini. So, I'm using the Muse deck today. I'm using the Muse deck. I bought it a long time ago, and you've probably seen it before if you tend to watch YouTube readers. It's very popular. I bought it, and I just I hated it. I touched it, I picked it up, and I was like, oh, cringy. So I put it away, and then this week it said, how about now? Try it now. And so I did. And we had some really great readings, personal readings came out with it. And I'm ready now. We're on the same page. We got the same energy. I think that I do have some difficulty because they changed the names of everything, and that adds a little glitch in my head, but I'm wondering if that glitch might actually help more intuitive stuff come out. So if I don't read the cards in the precise traditional ways, it's part of why I'm using the deck at all. So all right, that's meant to happen. All right, Gemini, here is your past, present, inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Okay, in your recent past, we have Muse of inspiration. Muse of inspiration. This would be your King of Wands energy. But I see like really being able to handle creativity and inspiration and bringing something to fruition, having had a very creative flow, a very divinely creative, divine connection with your own intuition. People were able to follow you. You brought a lot of elements together, or somebody did. You either knew this person or you were in this energy yourself, as far as being very creative, extremely intuitive. Your intuition has been very clear to you. There was a moment here in your past where you saw maybe your whole path laid out. I mean, obviously, if we see our whole path, there isn't the whole path, but seeing the journey, seeing where you're going with something, maybe even seeing that there would be obstacles, but still following your intuition as you did so, looking within and really seeing where this project or this creative project or this idea is really going, and what it, you may not feel that it's possible. You may have hit some sort of roadblock recently, and now you're like, wait, whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that vision, that dream, that idea that I had? That is that even possible? Is that going? Were we talking last week about obstacles for you? And just because it's not working out or it hasn't worked out so far doesn't mean it's not going to. Was that you? I think it was. Anyway, so in your recent past, in your past you did see something. You saw where you were going. You had a really strong intuitive hit where how to make this happen. What sort of strong thing? And there was sort of a path, and you saw it, and you saw where you were going, and you saw it was very intuitive. Where this creative journey was leading you. There's been some roadblocks. Maybe you weren't. You might have just like been like, yeah, roadblocks. Yeah, that's right. And then now that you've hit them, they're like, roadblocks. But you knew there were going to be roadblocks the whole time and this may have been like you already did accomplish something. You already did achieve something. You already brought something into reality, a creative thing. You already went through this whole path already. So why is this time different? Why is this time different for you? And then in your current situation, you have the Temperance card. So your current situation is requiring balance, bringing in some really opposing elements, some really, really strongly different energies. And that's what's going on right now. There's a sandpapering going on, smoothing off the rough edges. She's my bartender. Look, she's like, I'm bartending. She's shaken the bitters and the syrups, the sweet syrups together to make something more palatable. So something's becoming more palatable, more approachable, more workable. I'm seeing like clay that's been cold, and it's getting more workable. We're working something together, but it's requiring patience. It's requiring work. It's requiring consciousness. I feel like a strong sense of awareness of how we're moving the clay and its temperature, a constant temperature taking. Is it right now? Is it ready now? But are we there yet? But there is this combination, this bringing elements together, this smoothing out of rough edges that's going on right now. This could be you. This is just the current situation. Is something is having the rough edges sawn off of it, yeah. And then we have in your inner landscape, we have awakening here. So this is the Judgment card. This is going to be the Judgment card, and this is, I really love this this interpretation of it. It's seeing things from the past a lot more clearly, seeing your role in things, seeing. So here you were seeing sort of the future and bringing it in and how, and then we've had this sort of softening, and now we're looking back at the past, at what's gone on to the past, understanding it, focusing on it, awakening. Well, there is like a sense of seeing something much more clearly now, and it has to do with your past. It has to do with something that's been gone on. So this is all taking place internally. We're starting to see something a lot more clearly, starting to understand where you've been, this journey that you've been on. And I feel like this has a lot to do with what do you need to release. Like, it's safe to move on now. It's safe to release something. You're looking at it, you're analyzing what went on in the past. Well, I think we're all doing that all day long. And it's safe to to move on from this. But first, before we move on, let's learn everything. Let's understand everything. So there's some insights coming in for you, some clarity. You may not want to be looking at your past at all, right? You may not be enjoying this process at all of behaviors and decisions that you've made before, and just kind of this process of waking up to something that happened. It's from the past, and you are looking, but it is a sense of looking to the future now. Okay, I see. Okay, I see where I did that. I see what went wrong. Typically, I talk about, sometimes these cards come out I keep them upright, but sometimes they come out upside down, and I don't know what's going on there. But we talk about, there are no mistakes in tarot. How the card comes out is how the card comes out. Even though, I did certain things and tried to make it a certain way. And I struggle to believe that in actual life, is that there are no mistakes. But even realizing there's been a mistake is not, is part of there are no mistakes, right? So it's almost like the word itself is a little bit weird, because we do need to look at our mistakes, look at what we've done, look at the choices we've made, and understand them. But just because we're realizing that maybe that decision wasn't the best, or how we handled something wasn't really healthy, or that we have these wounds that continuously affect the decisions that we're making and our relationships and that kind of stuff, it doesn't mean that what happened was a mistake, and it certainly doesn't mean. So looking at we're not looking at our mistakes. We're looking at our mistakes, and we're understanding them, and why they happened and how they happened and how they came through that way is part of. It's part of integrating all of that, right? So we have this Temperance card. She does talk about integrating stuff. And if you're talking about like your past and who you've been, this is a sense of integrating it into your personality, understanding that it's part of you. Those decisions that you made are part of you. Would you make different decisions today? One hopes so, because we're different people. If we're growing, we would make different decisions. So there's something back there that's softened. You've softened. Your perspective has softened. You've seen a new thing. You've seen something, and it's tempering something. It's making it a little easier to deal with. And even in that easier to deal withness, it's almost stronger because it's softer. It's almost stronger because it's less rigid way of viewing something, less rigid way of seeing your own actions, your own behaviors. It makes you stronger. It's a paradox, but our most rigid, like sapphires, are very rigid, or emeralds are extremely rigid, and that makes them brittle and fragile, right? So that rigidity about who we were and what happened, and this is the story, actually makes us much more fragile, much more prone to shattering and breaking. So being overly hard or overly committed to the structure in which we live and in which we see ourselves, being overly committed to that actually makes us much more fragile and much more shatterable, right? So there's a hardness scale, like a 7 is good, but we don't want to be up at a 10 in the rigidity of how we see ourselves and how we see our situation. So there's something here where I feel like you're really softening towards some sort of story from the past, some sort of situation from the past. I'm not softening as in like, okay, I forgive everything, or I was wrong, or totally wrong and horrible, but just like allowing because it's Temperance. We're not going from one extreme to another. We're just allowing some sort of other view, other understanding of a new understanding, a new insights into what's gone on, into how we got where we're at. And it's softening us a little bit. It's softening you. It's making you a little more maybe gentle on yourself, right? You are good enough. Being gentle on yourself. And not being so harsh on yourself, and letting go of that, some sort of harsh judgment of yourself. This past is coming back, but we want it tempered. We don't want it harsh. Certainly don't want to stay who we were, brittle and this is the way it is, and rigid. We want to be able to soften that. So there is something coming in. You're rethinking something from your past as this softening energy is coming in, as this temperate energy is coming in. Maybe you weren't so horrible. Maybe you were. Maybe you weren't so perfect, but you're still good enough. Maybe you weren't so horrible, but you're good enough. It's a hard phrase to work with, but That's the phrase they gave us here. So 2 of voices here. This is not looking at something. So I really see that there's something but it's reversed. You're starting to look at something. You're starting to re-look at something and break away from a very stubborn way. Oh, remember at the beginning I was talking about infinite possibilities, being open to that, being open to other possibilities. There is a sense of opening up here and coming out of denial, coming out of refusal to look at something, or refusal maybe even to see another perspective, a refusal to listen to your intuition, a refusal to be more emotional, to be more in touch with your emotion. And you're coming out of that. You're coming out of a denial. There can be some shame there. This is why I think we're getting this, you are good enough. When we come out of shame, denial, or refusal to see things from other perspectives, or any kind of rigidity like that, we can start to open up to like all sorts of ways to see something or to understand something, and then we can be embarrassed about where we've been. But this is a waking up. There was a refusal to see something, a denial of something, and we're now getting there. We're now we've now switched. Here's the card, and it's upright. See, they're blinded and they're not even facing each other. It's just a refusal to see something, but you're coming out of that, and that's the situation that you're in right now, is coming out of some sort of denial, some sort of refusal. It could be denial that something is possible, right? Refusing to see that something is possible, that there's another option, that there's a possibility here, and coming out of that denial and that refusal to allow that something that you wanted, some sort of vision and idea that you had, is possible. Maybe you weren't even seeing it, and maybe you weren't seeing how it was going to happen. In your current situation, you have 10 of materials. This is a very fulfilling energy. You have friends, you have family, you have the money you need, you have the safety you need. This could be prompting you to be able to be more open to re-examining something that went on in the past, and how you've been in the past. And now that you might be feeling safer, you can open up more and not be in denial of something, and not be denying something. Because we have this waking up from denial card, and we have awakening card. Something softening here. It could be that you now feel safe. You now feel like you have everything you need here, or somebody does. There's something in the situation here where there's just a lot of support. You feel very supported, very secure, very safe. Yeah, it's 10 of materials is going to be something has materialized, right? Completely. Something has come into the real world. You manifested something. Maybe you had this original plan, this original vision, and you made it actually happen. So you've been able to make something happen here, or something has manifested in your actual life. And maybe you need to just accept that this is possible. Not only is it possible, but they're here. It's right in front of you. It's just right in front of you. And then your to-do list is 6 of inspiration. Celebrate. Allow your community to support and celebrate you. Allow your community to acknowledge your growth. Allow your friends and family. I mean, here we have a bunch of friends and family right here, right? Supporting us and supporting this this blossoming, this fruition of some sort of dream, some sort of thing. And your to-do list is to let them, because it looks like they're already here. It looks like the support is here. It looks like the praise is here. I mean, you've been through a lot, and it's time to allow support. It's time to allow this beautiful energy, your community, to love on you a bit. You've been through a lot, and maybe you haven't allowed people to love on you in the past. Maybe you haven't, but you are good enough. You are worthy of this praise. You are worthy of this support. Look at them supporting you. You are worthy of the spotlight. You are worthy of being the center of attention sometimes. You are good enough of that. Believe that that's possible. This is all about this 6 of inspiration with this believe in the impossible, and you are good enough. This is a lot about accepting your strengths and reveling in them, and allowing other people to see them, and allowing other people to praise them. If someone praises you, you say thank you, and you take it and you save it in a little scrapbook, a little mental scrapbook of, allowing people to praise you, allowing people to love on you, allowing your community to love on you. They're here. They want to. And this reminds me of, you know, having been like, oh, this person could never love me, and then allow them to. Allow these people to love you. Allow yourself to be loved. That's what I see here with this. You are good enough. You're good enough to receive this. And if the spotlight lands on you, accept it graciously. People love to lift up other people. It's so healing for everyone involved, for the people doing the uplifting, for the people being uplifted. And so if the people want to support you, they want to. It makes us feel important. It makes us feel like valuable members of our community when we're able to support somebody else and lift them up. So allow the support. It looks like maybe you haven't believed that it was possible. You haven't maybe even believed that you were lovable, or you were good enough to receive something so beautiful. But here's some beautiful support, beautiful love coming in for you. And maybe you're starting to realize that you have denied it. You've closed yourself off from it. And now you're starting to understand that you are lovable, and people do actually love you. It's here in reality, and to let yourself be loved. And then where you're going in the future, we have teamwork. Teamwork, people come in together to build something beautiful, something holy, something sacred. It's friend groups, but it's friend groups with a purpose. You're not just hanging out. You're finding your tribe, you're finding your team, but it's a team for a purpose. It's almost like this team wants to come in and support you, and then here you're all going to start working together to build something, right? This could be a total work reading too, as far as like accept the promotion, accept the work, accept that they do appreciate you, that you do bring something, and join the team, because believe that you're going to be a valuable member. Allow yourself to be valued, and to be a valued member of this team. And then we're going to go to the Kuan Yin. I like these readings with this deck are just really psychologically based. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this could be work. Oh yeah, that's right. It can be about things. But I think we've got a couple materials here and a couple inspirations. So it could be inspired work. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. This is a bumpy ride. Who knows what's going to happen, and allow that uncertainty, allow the bumpy ride, try to enjoy the bumpy ride. This is called the quickening. That's my intuitive vibe on this. And this is what it says. The fast track with the Divine Mother moves us rapidly through life's changes. The road can get a bit bumpy when traveling at her accelerated pace, nor will you often feel that you are in control of navigation. Yeah, I believe that there is a sense of needing to release control of a situation and allowing it to unfold. There is a part of the experience when you are to be moved rapidly with divine help. Best to just hold on to her and trust you'll get where you need to be. All right, Gemini, that's an exciting reading. Thank you so much for your likes and your comments and your subscribes, and I hope you have a great week.